been it's been interesting this past week. I think in such a way that there's so many learning lessons that I can say I got from just one or two things, but one thing that I'm trying not to kill that I was able to grow off of was like cultivating empathy. And that was something that to not have it is really rare. I think you're almost a psychopath if you don't have empathy. But in an environment for some people where they grow up with nothing but people that are victims, victim mentality people, it is so easy to fall into that. And what those people do is they pull an empathy card and they throw it at you. And so it makes you feel obligation to say they have a reason to why everything that they do or why they didn't do something. And the reason that I bring this up is because recently I think empathy has been something for me that I let too deep, too deep into my everyday life of having for people. And I'm a very empathetic person. I give people a lot of chances regardless because I wish that I would have had another chance after messing up. And then when I got that chance, I was still trying to get it right. So I did do better on this time, but I still messed up. And now I just doubled down on you not trusting me almost, or not getting the job done. I wish I would have had another chance because now I know for sure what I could have done. And I keep replaying that for myself, so I give it to other people. And I realized that was a killer for me personally. So I've been trying to learn to let go of that empathetic side for everything and start I guess not tallying necessarily, but keeping tabs of how many times I've given empathy to a person and they continue to mess up with the tools that they've been given, and to realize you're choosing to be this way, and what you're doing is you're pulling the empathy card on me to validate your actions for continuously doing this, and you're still not admitting it in the moment. And that's a problem that I have been now a lot quicker to cut somebody off. And honestly, it's a selfish thing. Super selfish. I think you have to be selfish in order to do and live the way that you want to live. I know I might be steering off kind of in a weird way, but I'm around people that are always not even around people. I'd say the world is like, be selfless, be selfless, be selfless. Like, if you're selfish, you're an asshole. But then real people that are actually selfless, but with things to give and things to show for it, and the mentality and attitude behind it, they understand that you gotta be selfish in order to truly be selfless. Because some people that are just truly bad people just not only pull that what I was referring to earlier, empathy card on you, but they preach to be selfless. And if you're selfish, they'll throw in your face, you're being selfish and you're an asshole. And I'm like, no, that's not me being an asshole. I'm not being an asshole at all. I'm being selfish because I understand that I'm trying to give to somebody else. I understand that I'm trying to give back to this world. And not only am I doing it with a positive attitude and you're just not liking the way I'm going about things because it doesn't match with you, but you're being hypocritical and you're trying to get in the way of me being selfish because I'm about to achieve something that you were too uncomfortable to strive for. And that's a lot of the times the situation that I was referring to is a lot of people run into. Whenever you're talking to somebody and you're telling them something that you're going to do, you are doing, that's usually the way the negative part comes out. And then they pull out a card, oh, I could have done that too. It's just this and this happened to me. I could have been this far in life, but this and this happened to me. And personally, that thing just hits close to home for me. And that's, I guess, overall, the moral lesson that I'm trying to give here has been you can have empathy for people, and I think having empathy is so important, but don't be so hung up that you always have to be selfless and empathetic to everyone that doesn't really deserve it. After you can examine and discern that they've had the opportunities to change. They've had every single tool given to them to not continue to do this, and when it's happening in the moment, they still refuse to change. That's been something that I had to learn to do recently, and I'm glad I have. Kind of brings me to my next point, actually, is for a long time men go through this stage and it's about becoming a man. When you go to your father, when you go to your uncle, when you go to a grown man, whether it's at Home Depot, you know what I'm saying? That's where you find these men that just know how to take care of things. You're just like, what, how? Or there's a situation coming up and they're like, I know exactly how to handle that. They just handle it even though they've never done it. And as a kid, as a young boy, before your frontal lobe is developed, you really find it fascinating and almost like astonishing to boys. It does. I don't know how it is for girls. I can't speak for girls. But to see the way men just take initiative, if it's a gardener, they can take care of the whole farm without complaint. They get it done, and if something pops up broken in the barn, it's like, bam, they know how to fix it already. Or they don't know how to fix it, but they're still not worried. They're like, I'll figure it out. We don't need to call somebody else. And they can guide a whole family. Young boys always hear, be a leader, be a leader, be a leader. And it is so much more difficult to actually install that. You can't just be told to be a leader. Like you have to go through enough problems in order to become a leader. And that's where I'm getting to now, is I kind of wanted to explain what I mean by a man in one sense, a specific sense, not just a man overall. There's a set of time that a young boy goes through where you have this ideology or this perspective of something, and you know why you have it. You can't quite describe it because you don't have the words yet, but nobody's agreeing with you. You keep messing up, but you're thinking of everything to the best of your abilities and everything you know, and you're also looking out for not only help, but different perspective. And everything that you're searching for still brings you back to your point. But for some reason, your environment, the things that you're around, are just not compatible with what you're trying to do, and life keeps kicking you in the ass. And it's that point that's so hard. You go through it on and off, but it stays for a solid year of your early 20s or teens. I think teen transitioning into 20s. And you feel crazy. You feel like I don't know why I can't get this right. but I know I will. I know I can. I know this is the right way, and I'm not going to do it a way that I know isn't going to work for me, because even if I said F how I feel, F what I think, I want to go try it this way, it won't work. I won't let myself do that, because I know it's not going to work. It's going to waste my time, and you're telling me to do it just to say, hey, at least you tried it. Maybe it might work. And I'm like, I know it won't work. You feel crazy because life keeps kicking you in your ass. And after a while, after doing this up and down roller coaster for so long, or maybe it's just a roller coaster and you stay at this really hard point for a long time, eventually all that time you just kept getting hit by life. You feel so out of place even with your family, friends, and you always, everyone hits the same exact point. You get lonely. It gets really, really lonely. And you're like, wow, I've never felt so alone. You can have everyone around you, but you know that you feel alone. You can't quite describe it, but you know you're alone. It's the first time you ever felt this. And you feel like you're crazy. Nobody's agreeing with you, and that's why you feel alone. Because you have this own ideology on whatever it may be, even though it keeps failing. So yeah, you feel alone because nobody can quite understand you. You feel like everyone's against you and nothing's going right. But eventually, right at that point, a door opens. Whether it's into work, whether it's into any type of possibility that you want to do, career path, relationship, communication-wise, anything. That door opens up, the one that you've been banking on for so long. And when it opens up, it feels surreal. You can't grasp the reality of it, because there's something that has been in arm's reach for so long. You knew the blueprint to get it. You've been following the blueprint to get it. And after a while, I know it's going to resonate with a lot of people. You've been chasing that for so long, it keeps failing. And you get used to the chase. And what you're doing is you're chasing for so long. And so you're not going to revert out of that change. That's kind of what I meant by earlier of not trying something else, because it's like, that's going to bring me backwards. I'm not going to do that. Why would I go backwards purposefully because you said that, just because it's not working for me this route? I know this is the right route. I can see it's the right route. It's the only route. I'm not going to go back that way. But that's all the way back there. And you're so used to this chase that you've been doing that you just like that chase. You like chasing it. And so when you get there, you've been in that chase for so long with every single struggle of the chase, you just think you're struggling and you're not going to get it. But every single person at the end of your goal line, you always know how they preach. It was hard to get here. It was this. I went through this. It was the most difficult thing ever. And you're like, that's kind of when you get there. You don't really think about it. So anyways, when you get this door open for yourself and you get to the end of that line, you cannot grasp the reality of it. And you're like, oh my God. But once you finally do sit in that reality for a little bit, it's almost like a section of your frontal lobe developing, regardless of what age you are. It's development within yourself. And I'm learning that recently, because once I got there, I realized a really, really big lesson was, one, not only, oh my gosh, I can't believe I made it here, but I felt crazy for so long. And that door is finally open for me. I don't care about all that other stuff, everyone else. I don't care about none of those people that were telling me go backwards or left behind or outside noise, because I have this door open. And if you even get in my way in this door, I'm going to run through you. Get out of my way. And you will kick everyone aside, because you've been in this chase for so long. Once you grasp the reality that that door is open, that line is right there within reach, there's nothing stopping you from going through that. But you're going to have to cut a lot of people off. Once you do that, you learn that all the times you felt crazy and all that hard work and those people and the outside noise, you realize that you just became the person that, with no, people people want to start cutting their grass now. You're now able to proceed down life as now that I've crossed this finish line and I've crossed this threshold, I trust in my ability to not only make decisions now and be a leader, but I trust so much more that if I feel like I know something, I don't care if everyone around me is telling me, no, don't do that, you should do this, and even while continuing down this path that I may go on and fail, I'm going to continue down it because I trust in my ability. And I guess it's more so trusting that even when I feel crazy, or the world makes me feel crazy, now I know I'm comfortable with feeling crazy. I'm okay with feeling crazy, but pursuing what I feel is right, and trusting in my own ability to discern if that's a bad decision, or anything else in that matter. So that's something that I've recently just learned and had that kind of frontal development of I don't care now after going through the longest point personally that I think I could go through and probably will, of feeling crazy, but knowing that I'm gonna get this. I'm going to get to that threshold at some point. I can't see it, don't know how I'm gonna get there. All those older people that are asking me, what's your 5-year plan? What's your 3-year plan? How are you gonna do it? When are you gonna do it? Where do you, like, how? And it's like, I don't know, but I'm going there. I'm on the chase right now. But I know I'm in the right direction. I trust in that ability now so much more. And I think that's truly what needs to happen to young men, is to go through that for so long and feel crazy